Hello guys, how's it going? I'm the Tmeister and welcome back to 5 Builders, 1 City. In the last episode, guys, I completed a water treatment facility over in this corner of the map, and that will provide water to the entire system. And I'm just thinking now, there's one thing that I forgot to do, and that is, I said I was going to connect up the system to Geneva, which I did not do. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Not that it really matters, but I kind of like the idea of having a sort of loop here. So rather than water having to go through Herkimer and then making its way back to Geneva. So let's branch off of... Actually, let's just have this connection branching off of here. And this is going to follow the highway off to the side. And then finally cross under the highway. Follow the rail line a little bit, go under the rail line, and connect up over here. Bam, perfect. All right, so what I intended to do in this episode, guys, is City Planner has left us with Sheffield City Park, this whole zone here, and I plan on filling up this entire area. Well, not the entire thing, but I at least intend on building something here. The two things that I want to build in this park, I'm going to divide the park in two. I want to have a city park and a zoo. These are two things that both bring tourism and leisure into the city. And as I said, you know, that's the thing that I wanted to focus on the most in this switcheroo for round 2. So let's go ahead, and I'm just gonna slow down the simulation because it's making my game lag. I'm gonna upgrade this to a full-on paved road. And I may stop this road. I'm gonna leave it as is for now. Okay, so let's go into our park menu. Now for the zoo, on which side would I like the zoo to be? I think I'm gonna build the zoo. Like, how big are these enclosures? They're pretty big. But this is still quite a bit of room. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna build the zoo over here. Hopefully I'm gonna have enough room. Alright, so let's go ahead. I'm gonna go into my park menu, and I'm actually gonna divide this in two. Oh, looks like it's always on the same thing. So on this side of the road, we'll have the Geneva Zoo. And then on this side, we'll have a large park. There we go. So it'll be kind of part of the same park, but not really. This will be the, oops, Geneva Zoo. Let's start off with that. Now first, we go into our park menu. Of course, we will need a park entrance. So main gate, small main gate, and a side gate. So let's have the main gate. Actually, instead of just a regular old simple thing, let's have a nice entrance into the zoo. So we'll have like this nice wraparound thing here. Have this all on the same level. And you know, I want this zoo to be aesthetically pleasing as well, so I'm going to terraform some parts of this build. But for now, let's place the entrance right kind of in the middle. I didn't really make it possible to be in the middle, but that's okay. So let's have a path with decorations going down this hill. And then let's have like sort of a main area here. So yeah, we have like, you know, some plazas and cafes and whatever, but our first enclosure is going to be a moose and reindeer enclosure. And let's have that, I don't want to ruin the terrain. Or actually, does that yeah, that doesn't really interact with the terrain. It's going to be a bit challenging because we're on a slope here. It may have been easier to build on this side just because the terrain is much more manageable. But we'll make something work here, guys. I'm not going to ruin this whole thing for City Planner. I'm going to try to make something that looks good and doesn't completely ruin the terrain. So let's have our first enclosure over here. And we'll have a path with trees going up to it. Connecting up like that. And I'm just going to pause the game just so, you know, we're not extending, yeah. Okay. So that's our first enclosure. I'm going to work on terraforming this afterwards. I'm going to plop down all of my required enclosures first. And of course, we have a bird enclosure to go along with that, which will go over here. And we'll connect that up afterwards. An antelope enclosure. Now this will most likely be the first enclosure that you see when you come into the park. Now let's extend our paths. I'm going to try to remain a little closer to the road over here. Just I don't want to interact too much with the terrain too close to these houses. So this main path here is going to be like Main Street for the zoo. So after that we have our Bison Enclosure. Now this is a big one. I'm afraid to see what this is going to do to the terrain. Bloop. Oh, that's better than I expected. It's not too bad. Now an insect, amphibian, and reptile house. This is the next thing on our list. And let's have this right in the middle of the zoo. Just because it's such a large building. Bloop. There we go. Then a flamingo enclosure on the other side of the street. Oh my god, that's terrible. Okay. Oh, am I even going to be able to place anything down there? That's a pretty steep hill. I might have to terraform this a little bit. I'm starting to regret building the zoo on this side of the map, guys. On this side of the park. I should have built this a city park. Yeah, because this is like a luxurious part of town as well. I think this is like a green area. Well, you know, we're already like pretty deep into this, so let's just keep going. We'll try to figure out something for the terrain. If I place this down here, how bad is that going to be? I suppose I could lower this. And then lower this road too. Yeah, that's not too bad. And I might actually stop this road here. This road really doesn't need to be there, really. But anyways, so actually, what do I have for rocks here? Oops, not Rick. Rock. Oh yeah, I have network rivers. I didn't know that. So as far as rocks, we do have a fair bit to play with. Oh, great. Okay. Are these from Gray Flame? Yeah, these are Gray Flame rock. So I'm going to be playing around with these guys to get the terrain to look right. So yeah, carrying along here. What's the next thing we have in our list? A elephant enclosure, and this is massive. Okay. It turns out I'm not going to have enough room for this entire zoo, guys. But that's okay. Because let me get rid of this segment of road. Let's go back into our zonage and let's steal some land from the city park. Because really the city park doesn't need to be that big. And if it does need to be expanded, there's plenty of room to play with over here. So let's just expand the zoo over to this side here. Completely eliminating this part. There. So that's much better. So now, oops. Let's go into our paths again. And we're gonna bring... Actually, let me connect this up like this. Oh my god, that's a pretty steep incline. Here, let me lower this. And now, let's get into some terraforming, just a tad. Okay, and terraform this, we'll flatten it out. And then, that's not what I wanted to do. I'm gonna take my smooth tool and smooth this out so it looks natural. And then at least, there. And at least it gives us all this land to play around with to get our zoo to look nice and even. Because the next thing we had in our list was the elephant enclosure, and look how huge it is. So if I place that down like that, oh yeah, I think that's all right there. Then we have our sea life enclosure, and this needs to be near the water, so this is perfect because I can place this down here. It's not really in the way of anything, I think. Then our giraffe enclosure, that can be over in this part of the zoo. I like how some of these pieces have like elevated sections. It's pretty cool. And our monkey palace. So this too is a pretty big building. I think I should have this. I'm gonna have it along this road here. It'll serve as kind of a secondary entrance into the zoo. And a rhino enclosure. Oop, again, that's starting to play around quite a bit with the terrain. There, I'm gonna lower that. Oh my god, there's so many. I forgot there was so many enclosures. A lion enclosure. Again, a pretty big one. Here, I feel like I can squeeze in another enclosure here, so I'm just gonna move this building a little bit more this way. And then we'll have our lion enclosure over here. There. So this is the basic layout for our zoo. We have a ton of well, not a ton, but we have a few props that we can play around with. We'll decorate this this whole thing here. Did I place an antelope enclosure? I think I did. Oh yeah, it was the very first one that I placed. There. And then let's maybe have a side gate. Right over in this part. Maybe not, I don't know. I don't really like the terrain. We could have a side entrance over here. That's not a problem. Okay, so let's finish up our street, or our path network. Let's have this zigzag its way to over here. We'll have this connect like that. And then we'll have this loop around and connect like this. And then this will connect here. So I'd like to have like a nice network of paths so it's easy to walk around the park. And then I'll decorate the whole thing with rocks in a bit. Like that, we'll connect this up to here, connect this up to here, connect this up to here. I don't know why this is elevated, really. Doesn't have to be. That was before we screwed around with the terrain, so there. It looks a little better lowered anyway. Oh yeah, and I have to provide a connection to this structure. Oops. There, we'll bring this all the way back up to the main path from here and there. So that creates a nice loop. Okay, and last but not least, our bird cage. Kind of out of the way, but that's okay. Okay, so this is the basic outline for the park. Now there's a lot of areas where we have some big cliffs and stuff, and this is where Gray Flame's rocks are going to come in. And this is solely for decoration. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this, just because I am kind of under a time constraint. Like, this is live play too, guys, so normally when I'm building these large-scale projects, I'm accelerating my footage like 4 times so I can get a ton of work done in a very short amount of time for you guys. But in this case here, I kind of just have to rush through this more or less. So I'm just gonna shove all these rocks in the ground. It creates more like natural looking cliffs. Makes things look a little better. You know, something like that. Oh yeah, and there's a couple of things that I did forget too. We can't forget to place down like some food and whatnot. So what I want to do, this little section here is pretty flat. Let's have a nice plaza. And then near the plaza, we'll have like a zoo cafe. We'll have some restrooms, of course, very close to the entrance. And then a souvenir shop close to the entrance as well. So everybody can, you know, go get their souvenirs and stuff, and then food and chill out at the main plaza. So of course, let's have some restrooms in more or less every corner of the zoo. So let's have some restrooms over here. That's probably all I need, really. It's not a huge zoo. Actually, maybe one more over here. That should be fine. And then another cafe over in this corner. That should do. And as far as props, I'm not going to play around a whole lot with that, just because we are kind of in a time constraint here. Maybe like some tables around cafe area. That's pretty good. Now, of course, a zoo is not a zoo without a good collection of trees. So let me go ahead and create a brush here. Let me do 5 builders, 1 city. We'll call it that, and select just a couple of trees. Nothing overly complex. Just some pines. I think there's some London plant trees. I really like those. Oh, maybe not. I'm not even sure what kind of trees are on this map, to be honest. There's some eucalyptus trees. Yeah, I think that's probably all right. Some pine trees. Not a whole lot of like trees with leaves. But anyway, let's go ahead and place down a bunch of trees in our zoo. It adds to the immersion. And there you have it, guys. The Geneva Zoo. All right, perfect. Now, for the city park. Now, the city park, I'm not going to do anything too complicated. It's just a general park. You know, there's little things to do around the park. But again, let's create a nice entrance for it. I don't want to make things overly complicated, but I at least want to give this park a nice entrance like we did for the zoo. So let's head over into the city park menu. We'll place our main gate. Area already has a main gate. Where's the main gate? Or is this part of another park? Doesn't have a main gate? What are you talking about? Zoological Gardens. Oh. Okay, well it looks like... Oh, I don't know what that was about. It changed itself into a zoo and then it changed back into a city park. That was kind of weird, but I can place down my main entrance now. That's good. So this is going to be more or less a nature park, really, just because of like the setting that it's in. But I'm gonna keep it as much as possible as just a regular city park. So let's go ahead and place down some trails. And how much land do we have to play around? We have quite a large area. I don't really have to worry about anything in this park. But let's have some nice walking trails, just a nice walking loop that the citizens can go around, following the coast, and then looping back to the entrance area. Everything is going to be more or less inside of this loop, and it's going to be completely separate from the zoo. Although, let me include a couple of side entrances, might as well, along this bike path road. Provide as much entrance or as much accessibility as we can with the rest of the city. You know, we want it to be a good park to visit. So of course, at the main entrance of the park, let's have all of the amenities such as an info booth, some restrooms, and a park cafe. And then as far as restrooms, let's maybe have one over in this corner, and then maybe another one like way down over here in case somebody forgot to go before they started their little hike. Oh yeah, and that's actually a great thing that we're by the water too, because we can have a park pier, which, no, okay, it needs to be near the water. So the guests can gaze off in the distance. Oops. This camera mod is kind of wonky sometimes. There. It's not much to look at, honestly, but you know, it's a nice little place to go and hang out. And we'll have another pier just a little bit up the road. There. And then maybe have like a nice little cafe by the water too. Oh, this is kind of tricky with the terrain. Maybe not. So let's have a climbing frame. Let's have that near the entrance of the park so parents don't have to walk too far to get to there. Oh yeah, and we have some gardens and sandboxes All kinds of little props to play around with. Oh yeah, and we have some cannon props too, just for looks. Oh, what do we have here? This is from the workshop. A pagoda. Oh my god, this is huge. That would actually be pretty cool. I mean, it's kind of out of place, but I actually like it. Having this right in the center of the park. I'm not sure who downloaded this, but that's pretty cool. So we'll have that. Oh, and some soccer fields. Or football fields. Could have a series of those. Does that... Oh, no, that's not terrain conforming. I'm gonna have to level some terrain. But yeah, that's actually a good idea to have this in the park. Chessboard. I'm not a real big fan of this. It's kind of... I don't know. It looks good in like downtown something, but let's go ahead and place one down there anyway. Oh yeah, and we have a park plaza as well. But I don't know if I'm gonna place that down. So, okay, let's go ahead. So we have surface painter. I'm gonna remove the cement around the pagoda, and let's connect this up with paths. I'm hoping that city planner is gonna like this. I don't know. It doesn't fit totally into a city. Like, of course, this is not an Asian themed city, but I think it's pretty cool. I think it fits in all right. And there you go. That actually looks kind of cool. I like it. What else do we have? We have some gazebos. I placed down some trampolines. We have some picnic tables. But yeah, like I said, guys, I'm pretty tight on time during this project, so I'm not going to focus a ton of time on detailing or anything like that. This is more to just... this is more to just add some detail to the area. So again, let's take our forest brush and place down some trees within the park. And let's have a nice open field right in the middle of the park so the pagoda kind of sticks out more. Something like that. That looks pretty darn cool, I must say. There you go. Look at that, guys. Maybe I'm gonna add some more rocks. Big rocks to the area. Give it more detail. Just like so. Actually, I'm gonna move this a little closer to there. There we are. And actually, if I go into my normal park menu, there's probably some things that I can place down, like a tennis court. Why would a tennis court not be in a city park? Now, of course, this is not totally in the park, but I'm gonna place down a couple of tennis courts over here. It's kind of part of the park. Ecodome glass. Oh my god, that's huge. We have sanctuary canal. Holy crap, guys, what are all these things? Basketball court, tennis court. Let's at least have one basketball court. And well, there you have it. Oh geez, we need to provide some power to the zoo. What are we missing for power? Okay, so power's not... Oh, I only have to plop down like one little thing. Does all this need power? I wonder. Let's hit play here. Oh shoot, I think it does need power. Oh man, and I don't want to place down some power lines all the way there. But does it need power? Yeah, it needs power. Shoot. Okay, well, let's quickly fix that. Oh crap, guys. Well, I don't want to place some power lines down inside of a park. Now I can at least move this to over here, and that'll connect these three up. So I just need to figure out how to provide power to these buildings here. Now if I go back into my park menu, is there a building? Oh, I'm sure a gazebo will help out. Maybe have a couple gazebos up the road. Oh, one more little thing. A bathroom. Or a cafe. No, we already have a cafe. Another bathroom. Boom. There we go. Everybody has power. But nobody has water, and that's a problem. So let's get some water pipes coming. Alright, so let's have that going through here. And I suppose with water pipes, they should probably follow at least the main path in the zoo. I suppose it doesn't really matter, but I just want everybody to have water access. And then the city park, it's the same thing. We want everything to have access to water. Of course, like all the bathrooms and the canteens and stuff, you know. Of course you want those to have water, right? And what's going on over here? Oh, did I screw up? Yeah. There, fixed. Oh, but what's this park area required? Oh, I figured this must be like not part of that park there. Geneva Zoo. Oh, you know what happened is probably this converted that other zone into a zoo and it's still trying to connect to that zone maybe? Anyway, let's just get rid of it and place down another secondary entrance. Zoo side gate. And there you have it. Holy crap, guys. Now this is just a whole area of recreation. What a fun city this is turning out to be. Alright guys, well that's pretty much going to be it for me. I think we've done quite a bit of work in the Geneva area. Hopefully City Planner likes the way that everything turned out. Although, you know, this is a shared zone, so we each put our little touch on each one of our corners. So, you know, that's the whole point of this thing here. So, guys, this was a ton of fun. I'm sure there's going to be a round 3. We're currently talking about it, so stay tuned for that. But until then, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and be sure to not only subscribe to my channel, but all of the other channels that are participating in this build series. So, guys, until the next episode, take care.